Good morning, it's 1 AM and I'm working on a really quick project, and I mean really like in my lunch break quick project, specifically this. This I built a while ago. This is the Janus Pi. Technically, the most complicated thing I've built. It's got a switching system inside. So what it's a standard Raspberry Pi 3B+, but inside I've wired up this sort of dogleg dual SD rig, and taken off there was a tiny little micro switch soldered in there where those 3 points are, and I desoldered it and wired these 3 wires go round to this switch here. So the top SD card you see there is now selected, I think, and then when you turn it this way, it's the one underneath. There's another one underneath. So I've got a 32 gig SD on top and a 64 gig underneath. 64 gig underneath is exactly the same as the Arcade Pi and the Flux capacitor. All of those, they all use the same image. The other side, this one on top, is my Amiga stuff. So the Commodore Amiga, every single disk image for the Commodore Amiga, practically ever, is on there. The other little toggle switch here is for this fan, a little 5-volt fan, and the little momentary switch here is a little shutdown script. Again, exactly the same, and both SD images utilize that kill switch. Both SD images on these chips also utilize these drive lights. So I've got the blue one for the retro games and the yellow one to mimic the yellow light that used to be in the Amiga for the floppy drive. The thing is, when I built this pretty much overnight, actually. And like I say, inside, technically, one of the most complicated things I've built. The outside of it, though, is absolutely just utterly ugly. I mean, it is not a pretty looking machine. This is a £1 case from China. And I've just put some rubber feet on it, like these little clear perspex rubber feet. The holes aren't drilled necessarily. I did it all on the quick. It looks all right and it works beautifully. I love this machine, but it is really ugly. So I thought what I'd do is go to my second home, i.e. the pound shop, and pick up, what have we got? We've got some gloss white and some gloss black auto spray paint, £1 each. I've got my knives, again from the pound shop, craft knives. And this, I found this as well. This is not bad for £1. Mini tech screwdriver with all these little parts in there. Again, £1, not bad. Some tape, permanent marker, some super glue. When I was pulling this out my bag a second ago, I just popped the fan loose. So you can see the fan is a bit loose there. But apparently I'm the guy that walks around with the super glue in his backpack. So got super glue in there. And this Sharpie pen. What I think I'm going to do is, with most of my spray paint jobs like this, I spray the underside of clear plastic. So you can rub it all day long and the paint will never come off. However, this is kind of being touched a lot. The Raspberry Pi, once it's on top of my unit, it never really gets touched. So I might spray the outside of this. I'm going to pop the fan all the way off because it's not properly attached at the minute, and spray the outside. As far as colours go, I've got 2 things now that mimic Gary Holt's guitar. The guitarist from Slayer and Exodus has blood-splattered Flying V, and I think it looks awesome. And I kind of mimicked this because it kind of looks like that, where it's white with this blood splatter effect. And so I mimicked it on this controller, and also the Exodus box I mimicked as well. And I really like this Flying V guitar. It's so pretty. But I also really like Zakk Wylde's original Bullseye guitar. So I thought, well, seeing as I've got white and black spray paint, why not just do a Bullseye effect? Now this hole here isn't particularly round. So I'm going to round, because I did it all by hand. I was just eyeballing it. I wasn't even like measuring it. So what I'm going to do is do one coat maybe even 2 coats of just black as a base coat, just with the gloss black. Then I'm going to mask off where, like a proper circle, and then again mask off where I want the black rings to be, then do another coat of the gloss white on top of the gloss black, and then once I peel it off, it will have the white and black rings. I think I'm going to extend that all the way around to the back, so the rings will come down and around. Also, what I'm going to do here is just use some of this packing tape, stick that packing tape flush across here, and then cut shapes in it. Just a small shape here, maybe a round hole here and a round hole here. And then once I've done the black undercoat and the white overcoats, when I peel that back, there'll be like little windows for the drive lights in there. The reason I like that design is that I love that Bullseye guitar. I know the whites aren't white on the Bullseye guitar, and this is like a bright white. The whites on the guitar are actually yellow, but I'm not going to start mucking around getting it perfect. And I also like the fact that these could be like the pickup selectors, or like the other little toggle switches that you would have on a guitar, wherever it be. Yeah, like a pickup selector switch or something like that. And that little button as well, like a volume knob or tone knob or something. So, yep, I quite like that design. So I'm going to probably design myself a Raspberry Pi, because other than the PlayStation 1, I don't really have any nice Raspberry Pis for myself. So this is going to be the one. So yeah, I'm going to do a quick little paint job today. Hopefully I can get most of it done. Also, I'm going to take the time just to clean it up a bit, because again, this is a bootleg Chinese case. All of the edging's really rough. Like, I don't know if you can see here, like it's super sharp. It wasn't like cut properly. There's all sharp bits on the end. Basically, it's very, very cheap, but you get what you pay for. So yeah, hopefully I can get this looking nice. Okay, well, I managed to get the undercoat done at least. Spray paint for a quid, not great. You have to do quite a few coats, but I'm pretty pleased actually with the way it turned out. It's a nice gloss black, and for the drive, so for the holes around here, I said I was going to do a circle or something like that. What I actually went with was, because again this is like the Zakk Wylde motif, I decided to go for like a cross shape, like a Viking cross, basically like this kind of shape, which is for Zakk Wylde very on brand. So yeah, the black undercoat's done. What I'm going to do now is mask off the concentric circles, and then either later on this morning I'm going to just give it probably 2 or 3 coats of this, and then put the unit back inside, well, glue the the fan back on, and then put it all back inside. And then once I peel off, you can just about see the cross on there. Once I peel that off, the hole should be there, and then it should be done. Oh, and then obviously some rubber feet for the underside. But yeah, so far pretty pleased. I like the fact that it's off center as well, so the bullseye will be to one side. It will give it a more sort of 3D effect. All right, yeah, cool. So that's where I am at the minute. Peace.